Hello guys, hello to everyone, long time no see. Welcome back to my channel. I've been really busy lately. Today I'm going to answer a question which a lot of people are asking me. A few months ago I bought a i9 10900K and I'm not overclocking right now. And a lot of people ask me, hey, why did you bought that CPU if you are not going to overclock? And it is a very good question, because basically there's no reason to buy a overclockable CPU if you are not going to overclock it. So let's start with the beginning. First of all, let's talk about the overclocking process. Let's talk about what are the needs for you to be able to overclock a CPU. The most basic definition of overclocking is pumping more energy into the CPU through the motherboard, and with this procedure you are going to get higher clock speeds and of course a faster CPU. Not all the CPUs are overclockable, and today we are going to talk about the Intel CPUs, because I bought a Intel CPU as well. So if you wanna overclock a CPU from Intel, you need to buy a K marked CPU. I bought a i9 10900K, so I will be able to overclock it in the future. Before you decide to buy a overclockable CPU from Intel, you need to know two basic things. First of all, overclockable CPUs are more expensive than normal CPUs. You are going to see a picture right here to see the prices. The price difference is around 10%, but it can go higher depending on the CPU you are looking for. The second thing you need to know before you buy an Intel overclockable CPU is that you are going to need a special motherboard, Zen 590. I made some snapshots from Newegg, and you are going to basically see very easily that there are going to be extra costs involved with overclocking. So think very well before you buy overclockable CPU, because you are going to invest a lot of money in extra components just to be able to get that 10-50% extra power from the CPU. The reason why I bought the 10900K but I'm not overclocking right now. Okay, let's talk about it. If we are talking about testing, we can see right here in Passmark there is a 15% difference between overclocked 10900K and non-overclocked 10900. 15% difference. Do you really need to invest a lot of money in cooling, a lot of money in motherboard, 10 extra percent in CPU to be able to get only the 15% more power? I don't think that in a real life scenario, just playing games or editing in 4K, basic editing, is not going to be such a it's not going to make such a big difference, you know. I bought this 10900K just for future-proof factor. So when it comes to games, fortunately I didn't have to test the CPU myself. I didn't have to test the overclocked and non-overclocked CPU. There is someone online who did this test and did it very well. We are talking about max testing. We can see right here. I made some snapshots from his video. So as you can see, this is Arma 3. There's a 15% FPS increase for the overclocked version. Right here we are going to see some Call of Duty Warzone. Again, not even 10% of an increase. And we have of course GTA 5 with I don't know, 10% increase. Yeah, we can say 10% increase. He's using a 2080 Ti, so the graphics card is really good. Is no bottleneck from the graphics card. So if you wanna play some games, you are not going to benefit a lot of you are not going to win a lot of FPS from overclocking. There's no reason for you to buy an overclocked CPU just for gaming. These type of CPUs are powerful enough to run a lot of games really easy. I think there's no game which this 10900 is not going to be able to run it on a playable level. So why I bought this 10900K? Well, I bought it for future-proof factor. Let me explain, because maybe for some of you it's going to sound a little bit bullshit, but to be honest, if you think a little bit, I think this is the only main reason why someone should buy a 10900K and not overclock it right now. I bought it for future-proof. So when this 10900K non-overclocked is going to be on the edge of obsolete, is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm going to be able to overclock it and get an extra, I don't know, 6 months to a year, just by pumping up this 10% extra juice. if you can say it right like that. I had the money to buy the overclocked CPU, I had the money to buy the cooling solution. You can see unboxings of these on my channel. I bought for the cooling a 360 AO4 from Be Quiet. It's a Be Quiet Pure Loop 360, which is doing very well. It's under the load, I think a maximum 65 degrees. I bought some really nice motherboard. We have a Z490 right here from Gigabyte, the beautiful Vision. Yeah, so I had the money to buy all these components a few months ago. So who knows, maybe when this computer is going to be obsolete, I'm not going to have a lot of money to be able to build a new one. So when your computer gets obsolete, making an upgrade is not such a good idea. It's always better to sell it like it is, put some extra money and buy a new generation one. Making an upgrade is not going to solve problems in the near future. You are going to get into bottlenecks and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going to be in the future. I would like to have this option to be able to get some extra juice out of this computer if I'm not going to have enough money to buy a new generation in 3 or 4 years. In the conclusion is very simple. If you have the money to buy the CPU, the cooling and the motherboard, go for it, no problems. You can do just like I did, buy it for future-proof factor, because it's obvious on gaming and stuff like that, basic video editing is not going to make such a big difference overclocking. If you are a streamer, once again, it's okay to buy the overclockable CPU. This 10-50% can make your stream more stable and more quality. You can put extra bit rates into your stream if you have a very powerful CPU. If you are doing heavy video rendering, of course you can enjoy overclocked CPU. It's going to, I don't know, maybe cut a little, it's going to cut a few minutes from your waiting time when you hit the render button. These are all the reasons why someone should buy overclockable CPU. Otherwise they are just money thrown out of the window. There's no really reason to buy this type of CPU. Tell me what you think. What do you think about this overclocked, not non-overclocked CPU situation? So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think, and stay tuned, because in the near future, I think this month, I'm going to post a lot of videos on this channel. Right here I'm having a Logitech steering wheel where I'm going to do a very basic unboxing assembly. We are going to put it together. Let's see, just see how it works. So thank you for watching and have a nice day.